But to balance all those things out is on the CA side. But we also have a new company in play, NetEase, who publishes the game in China and provides servers. So how has been your experience with that so far, Rainfire?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about one of the biggest changes in my mind, or at least the most apparent change uh, in this phase of Arena's life. Um, being being published in China by NetEase, um, my understanding is going to be exclusively available in China, at least initially during the testing phases up into release time. Um, one of the good things about NetEase taking over for wargaming, or the publishing rights in China, is that they're a pretty big company. They're involved with telecom, e-commerce. They got you know global talent they represent. They're making like 67 billion yuan uh, last year. So I mean, it's a pretty hefty company, and they got their fingers in a lot of pies. So they have a lot of resources available as far as the publishing and marketing of Arena. So in my mind, that's a good thing. But one of the most apparent changes people are going to notice when they go to play Arena, uh, in this phase of the release, is that everything's in Chinese. You go to register for the game, it's on a Chinese website. Uh, the launcher you install is going to be all in Chinese. We're having to basically translate everything just to be able to play the game at this point. And the same thing with the in-game languages, like the default language pack is simplified Chinese. In-game chat is voice chat is available now, and that theoretically would also be mostly Chinese or dominantly Chinese. Um, so that's a pretty big challenge, I think, for as far as trying to get involved with Arena at this point and going forward. Um, the other issue I see is that, as far as my understanding, uh, other than China and the Chinese servers, there's really not any official plans or support for worldwide publishing at this point. It's going to be almost exclusively Chinese release. So hopefully we're included for the plans for the future. CA has made statements to that effect, that hopefully things are successful with NetEase and the Chinese release goes well. That they could bring Arena back to the rest of the world and implement servers in other countries and have a larger player base available worldwide. Um, Another issue is customer support. It's almost non-existent um, if you're outside of China or don't speak Chinese. Because basically they're not supporting anything outside of China during the testing phases and going into release. Um, Another issue with the Chinese servers specifically is a lot of Western players are experiencing high ping, some lag, in some instances even disconnects, or uh, lagging out so bad basically that you're kicked out of the game, and that's definitely an issue. There's also like the time differential between different regions, like North America, EU. We're all on different schedule from mainland China. So as far as like matchmaking and stuff like that, I see that as a possible problem going forward. Just being able to find matches, at off hours for the Chinese servers. Um, the last thing I did want to mention, though, is that NetEase already does have U.S. servers for a limited number of games. So they do have support for worldwide. Like the infrastructure is there. It wouldn't be hard for them to do that. But like I said, at this point going forward in the near future, it seems like NetEase and mainland China is going to be the focus of Arena.
Hmm. Well, from what I've understood from the announcements that CA has made, is that NetEase is only getting Arena in China, and if Arena were ever to come back to the West, it would come back under Creative Assembly and Sega, and they would like manage it and stuff. But obviously that can change, or maybe I misinterpreted it. Um, in the end, for the CEOs, it's all about the money. They don't really care. They'll make whatever decision that they think will make the most amount of money, except that those decisions were not necessarily, the best in the past, and what they thought would be a pretty good thing turned out not to be so much. Yeah, that's a different topic. What I wanted to talk about and expand a little bit is the netcode. You mentioned the lag, and obviously netcode is going to be essential to have a healthy netcode in such a high ping environment. And I must say, netcode is pretty solid, especially compared to a game like Conqueror's Blade that I play right now. We have dedicated European service. It is a Chinese game, so kind of a reverse situation. Chinese game published in the West rather than the other way around. So in Conqueror's Blade, even though you have European ping, so between 30 and 70 milliseconds, depending on how the servers feel or your internet connection feels, you still see people teleporting and some random bullshit happening. Like you getting hit even though on your screen you're not. And the guy who's punching you in the face is 50 meters away from you. But in case of Arena, we have a pretty solid netcode, and the only issue I've noticed, apart from obvious disconnects and high pings, is when I was trying to line up my cavalry charge. So, I right click on the ground to line up my charge. I want the charge to go in that direction, and then I hit charge ability. And then I wait for the ping to catch up. And then what happened is that the cavalry charge ability came through first, and my cavalry started charging, and only then the movement order came through and canceled the charge. So that was pretty unfortunate, and for that and many other reasons, we probably won't have the best experience playing in China if we try to play a little bit more seriously. And the other issue I'm expecting to have to deal with, with all the Chinese government, doesn't have to do anything with NetEase, just the Chinese fucked up law. Or with, we will probably have to provide like IDs and phone numbers. So I don't know if our real numbers will even work because they're not Chinese. So probably have to use some random generators. And I don't know. I don't want to dive into that, but if we'll have to, I probably would to try it out. But I imagine many people from the West will drop out on that point and just say that it's not worth dealing with this bullshit.